This is my audience.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Adam.
So but manufacturers will have to in fact deaden the trampoline bounce that pitch balls experience when a batter makes contact. Basically, all aluminum bats will be exactly like wooden bats. This is what Rick Rolfe said whenever he explained the changes from the BBSR bat certification and the BBCOR bat certifications. So there's a change now to, in fact, weaken the bats, and they said there was a couple reasons for this, none of which I really bought into. So these are the sources I used for my speech. They were AskCoachWolf.com, KBiaSportsExtra.com, Boston.com, and the ACSPSU.edu.com. So why are BBCOR bats are bad for all your children and the game of baseball? Well, I believe because BBCOR bats are not safe for pitchers as they're advertised by the NCAA. They've had multiple of issues with this type of bat for the same exact reasons. So BBCOR bats are unfair to the new generation as well. You know, everyone else was able to use these BESR bats who in fact had more bounce, so that always meant for longer home runs, more better average. All these things were affected. And last, I feel these BBCOR bats makes players more inclined to do steroids. Young kids don't know how to cope with the fact that they're not hitting as many home runs as their older brother or something like that. Like, they don't know how to deal with this type of stuff. So how can a bat made for a safer game actually be bad for the game of baseball? Well, honestly, I talked to a couple people and they saw they had a lot of issues with the bats. One was Coach Wayne Bennett, was one of my baseball coaches. He stated, "I saw more bat-related injuries in my first year with BBCOR than I could remember in all of my career." This is when I had asked him like how he had dealt with the game of baseball now that they were using BBCOR bats instead of BESR bats. And what he came to saw was that like he was having more issues after than before it came up and occurred. Garen Negron stated, "If the bats are exposed to extensive use against a pitching machine, the bats will eventually shatter, like this one." And this is a picture he actually posted. This is from BBCOR versus BESR.blogspot. And so he was basically stating that these bats were in fact not safer than they had expected. It may have been a little bit safer as far as like the pitcher, someone that's up close to you, but bats were shattering, end caps were coming off. All these things is not safe for our children to play baseball with. They're in fact not safer. So if the game of baseball is not safer, then why did the NCAA make this type of certification? And I wonder the same thing. These BBCOR bats are better for the originality of the game of baseball. That's something that the NCAA stated, but it's not technically something I actually agree with. At Boston.com, Ryan McDonald said, "The weakened pop of BBCOR bats also means pitchers can pick to contact more aggressively. It's early in the season, but already appears as though balls hit off the handles or the end of the bats are less likely to result in hits." So, in fact, so what we get from this is that basically pitchers are starting to have better ERAs, more innings pitched. They're becoming a lot more successful than in the past. This is like taking away the authenticity of the game of baseball. And now what that also means with those successful pitchers is that means a lot more kids nowadays are playing baseball and they're setting themselves up for failure with these new bats. They're basically studs. As you're starting to see, this BBCOR certification is anything but beneficial. So BBCORs will bring out the authenticity of the game, and that's what NCAA stated. And I have a graph here stating some of the stats of the amount of home runs that have happened, home runs per game basically. And up until the start of the BBCOR bats to the end, you can see a huge, ginormous drop off. And compared to the rest of the graph, as you can see, it's a lot lower.